Over the years, people have discovered strange occurrences and bizarre happenings throughout this icy world. Join me, I'm counting down 15 of the strangest discoveries in the Arctic Circle, starting with number 15, Unartok Island Hot Springs. Unartok Island, located off the coast of Greenland, is home to an amazing natural wonder, the Unartok Island Hot Springs. These geothermal springs are a surprising sight in the Arctic icy landscape. They're found on a small uninhabited island in a fjord between the towns of Nanortalik and Qaqortoq in southern Greenland. The hot springs have a water temperature around 98 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit, that's about 37 to 38 degrees Celsius, making them pretty warm and pretty inviting. Unlike other hot springs though, these stay at a comfortable temperature all year round, perfect for relaxing after a cold day outside. These springs have been a secret for centuries, and they were only known to the local communities. They use the hot Greenland. The journey is an adventure itself, offering stunning views of icebergs, glaciers, and rugged coastal landscapes. Number 14, the lion's mane jellyfish. So the cold waters of the Arctic Circle are pretty tough for most species to live in, but they also produce some amazing animals. One of them is the lion's mane jellyfish, and they're one of the most striking creatures in any ocean. It is the largest known jellyfish species, and some can measure over 7 feet or 2 meters in diameter, with tentacles that can reach up to 120 feet or 37 meters. These tentacles are grouped into 8 clusters, with each of up to 150 tentacles, giving the jellyfish its characteristic flowing hair-like appearance. Now, this species is mostly found in Arctic waters, but it can also live in the cooler parts of the North Atlantic and North Pacific. It often floats near the ocean's surface where it easily catches its prey, usually small fish, zooplankton, and other jellyfish with its long tentacles. Despite the look, the lion's mane jellyfish Medusa, the familiar jellyfish shape, which quickly grows to full size. They are also bioluminescent too, meaning they can produce light to attract prey and deter predators. This light show is especially stunning at night, lighting up the dark ocean with a spooky glow. Number 13, Pingualuit Crater. Pingualuit Crater is located in the Ungava Peninsula of northern Quebec, Canada. It is one of the best preserved meteorite impact craters in the world, providing a unique look into Earth's geological past and the forces that have shaped its surface. The crater is also known as the Crystal Eye of Nunavik. It's almost perfectly circular and about 2.14 miles or about 3.4 kilometers in diameter. It was formed 1.4 million years ago during the Pleistocene epoch, when a meteorite about 0.9 miles or 1.5 kilometers wide crashed into the Earth. The impact created a deep depression that is filled with water over time, forming a lake known for its clear and pure water. Lake Pingualuit, as it's called, which means where the land rises, highlighting the crater's prominence in the otherwise flat landscape. This makes the crater a significant landmark and it's been of interest to indigenous populations for centuries. The lake's sediments contain a detailed record of climate changes over thousands of years, offering valuable insights into Earth's environmental history. Studies of the crater have provided valuable information about past glaciations, vegetation changes, and even the arrival of humans. Researchers continue to analyze sediment cores from the lake to understand better how climate change has affected the Arctic environment over time. This crater is now part of a national park established in 2004 to protect this unique geological site and its surrounding ecosystem. It's managed by the Inuit community, ensuring that conservation efforts are aligned with traditional knowledge and practices. Visitors here can explore the crater and its surroundings, enjoying activities like hiking, snowshoeing, and wildlife observation. Number 12, the HMS Terror. The HMS Terror was a bomb and heavy impacts. This made it suitable for polar exploration. The ship was modified for Arctic conditions by reinforcing its hull with iron plating, installing internal heating systems, and adding a steam engine to help it sail through icy waters. Under the command of Captain Francis Crozier, HMS Terror, along with the Erebus, left England in May of 1845. The ships were stocked with supplies for 3 years, including food, scientific instruments, and a crew of experienced sailors. Their goal was to find a navigable route through the icy-covered waters of the Canadian Arctic archipelago. However, the expedition faced unexpected challenges. Both ships became trapped in sea ice near King William Island in September of 1846. And despite some efforts to break free, they were unsuccessful. The last sighting of the ships by Europeans was in July of 1845, when whalers saw them in Baffin Bay. The fate of the HMS Terror and its crew remained a mystery for nearly 200 years, sparking many search expeditions. In 2016, a breakthrough happened when Parks Canada, working with local organisms 4,100 feet or 1,250 meters below the surface, and it's become an important site for studying deep-sea environments. Discovered in the early 1990s, the mud volcano revealed a unique ecosystem driven by the release of methane-rich fluids and mud from deep within the Earth's crust. Unlike traditional volcanoes that erupt with molten rock, mud volcanoes release mud, water, and gases, creating a cold seep environment. This type of activity is crucial for understanding seafloor fluid systems and the impact on marine ecosystems. This mud does provide an energy source for a unique group of microbes, which in turn support a diverse community of organisms that are adapted to deep-sea conditions. Methane-oxidizing bacteria play a key role in this ecosystem, converting methane into organic matter that other organisms can use. This process is an important part of the carbon cycle in deep-sea environments, helping to control the release of methane, a potent greenhouse gas, into the ocean and the atmosphere. At the center of the volcano were the meth samples and conduct experiments to understand how organisms survive in such extreme environments. Number 10. The Yukagir Mammoth. The Yukagir Mammoth is one of the most important paleontology discoveries from the Arctic. It was found in 2002 in the Siberian permafrost near the Yukagir settlement in the Sakha Republic of Russia. This incredibly well-preserved mammoth dates back to about 18,560 years ago and offers amazing insights into the lives of woolly mammoths during the late Pleistocene epoch. Now, what makes this mammal so special is its state of preservation. Thanks to the Siberian permafrost, which stays frozen year-round like a natural freezer, much of the mammoth's soft tissue, including the skin, muscles, and internal organs, remained intact. This rare level of preservation allows scientists to study these ancient giants in great detail. Named after the Yukagir people who lived in the region, the mammoth is an adult male believed to be around 47 years old. Its tusks, which are about types of plants that were common in its ecosystem. This information supports the idea that mammoths lived in a cold, steppe-like environment called the Mammoth Steppe, which stretched across northern Eurasia and North America during the last ice age. Genetic analysis of the mammoth has been groundbreaking. The preserved tissues provided high-quality DNA samples, allowing scientists to sequence its genome. This genetic information is crucial for understanding the evolutionary history of woolly mammoths and their relationship to modern elephants. Comparisons of the mammoth genome with those of living elephants have revealed important adaptations to cold environments, such as genes related to fat storage, hair growth, and cold tolerance. Number 9. The Aurora Vent Field. The Aurora Vent Field, located in the Arctic Ocean, is one of the least explored deep-sea hydrothermal vent systems. It was discovered relatively recently in the 21st century. Situated on the Geckel Ridge, an underwater mountain range between Greenland and Siberia, it has provided valuable information about hydrothermal activity in the Arctic. The remote location, harsh conditions of the Arctic Ocean covered by ice and freezing temperatures makes this exploration difficult. But despite those challenges, advances in underwater technology such as remotely operated vehicles and autonomous underwater vehicles have allowed scientists to map the seafloor, collect samples, and study the vent field in detail. Named after the Aurora Borealis or the Northern Lights, the hydrothermal vents at the Aurora Vent Field emit superheated water that can reach temperatures of up to 752 degrees Fahrenheit or 400 degrees Celsius. This water is full of minerals like iron, manganese, and sulfur, which form chimneys and other mineral structures around the vents. The ecosystems supported by hydrothermal vents are some of the most unique on Earth. Without sunlight, which can't penetrate the deep ocean, these ecosystems rely on chemosynthesis instead of photosynthesis. Now, chemosynthetic bacteria convert the chemical energy from vent minerals into organic matter. It might be found on other planetary bodies, such as the icy moons of Jupiter and Saturn, where similar hydrothermal activity may occur. This research could offer the first glimpses of what life elsewhere in the universe might be like. Number 8. The Arctic Henge. The Arctic Henge is a modern stone monument located near the small village of Raffarhof in northern Iceland, close to the Arctic Circle. Inspired by ancient mythology and astronomical alignments, the concept of Arctic Henge comes from Icelandic folklore and the Eddic poems, which are collections of mythological stories central to Norse mythology. The idea was proposed in the early 1990s by a group of enthusiasts and was designed to honor Iceland's rich cultural heritage and the ancient Norse beliefs. The project officially began in 1996, with construction starting in early 2000s. Arctic Henge features 4 main gates, each aligned with a compass direction, north, south, east, west, and a central stone structure. These gates are designed to capture the evolving project, with new features and enhancements added over the years, making it a living sculpture that continues to grow and develop. The site encourages visitors to explore its alignments and observe the interplay of light and shadow at different times of the year. Rúðarhöfn, where the Arctic Henge is located, is one of Iceland's northernmost villages, situated on a peninsula. The area is known for its dramatic landscapes and the proximity to the Arctic Circle, where the phenomenon of the midnight sun and polar night are most pronounced. During the summer solstice, the sun never really fully sets, creating a continuous daylight that casts a unique glow over Arctic Henge, while during the winter, the sun barely rises, highlighting the monument against the twilight sky. Moving on to number 7, the Greenland shark. The Greenland shark is a mysterious creature living in the deep waters of the North Atlantic and Arctic Oceans, and it's unusual because of its lifespan, slow metabolism, and unique adaptations to extreme environments. It is one of the largest known shark species, longest living vertebrates known. This is partly due to their extremely slow growth rate of about 0.4 of an inch, or about 1 centimeter per year, along with their slow metabolism and cold water habitat. Greenland sharks are well adapted to the Arctic's cold temperatures. Their tissues contain high levels of trimethylamine N-oxide, which helps stabilize their proteins and cell structures against the cold. Now, this adaptation also makes their flesh toxic to humans and many other animals, meaning a few creatures see them as prey. The diet of the Greenland shark is pretty diverse and somewhat unusual. They are opportunistic feeders, eating a wide variety of prey, including fish and seals. They've been found with remains of polar bears, moose, and even reindeer in their stomachs. Their slow swimming speed, averaging around 3/4 of a mile, 1.2 kilometers per hour, suggests they rely on stealth and ambush tactics to catch live prey, often targeting sleeping seals and fish. While despite their frightening appearance and status as apex predators, they are not considered a sightings. Aimed to recreating the ecosystem of late Pleistocene epoch by reintroducing large herbivores and predators that once roamed the area. The ultimate goal is to transform the current tundra and forest into a more productive grassland ecosystem, which the Xenomorphs will believe will help combat climate change by slowing the thawing of permafrost. It is similar to real-life Jurassic Park, but with animals from way more recent times. The concept of Pleistocene Park is based on the idea that large herbivores play a critical role in maintaining grassland ecosystems. Now, during the Pleistocene epoch, which ended about 11,700 years ago, Siberia was home to a wide range of large animals, including mammoths, woolly rhinos, bison, horses, and musk oxen. These creatures did help maintain grasslands by grazing on shrubs and trees, trampling the soil and spreading seeds. The Xenomorphs hoped that by reintroducing similar herbivores, they can restore the Pleistocene ecosystem. Since its inception in 1996, Pleistocene Park has allowing the cold winter air to penetrate the ground more effectively, helping to maintain the permafrost. The park now covers around 7.7 square miles, or about 20 square kilometers, and it's one of the largest ecological experiments on Earth. The introduction of herbivores has already shown some promising results, with the grazing activity transforming parts of the park from shrub-dominated landscapes to grasslands. Grasslands have a higher reflectivity, meaning they reflect more solar energy back into space compared to darker forests or shrubs, potentially leading to a cooling effect on the local climate. Number 5. Nanoxaurus. Dinosaurs roamed the planet millions of years ago, but we usually hear about ones that lived in temperate regions. Recent evidence has shown that some species adapted to different climates, and one surprising discovery is the Nanoxaurus, a type of tyrannosaurid dinosaur that lived during the late Cretaceous period, about 70 million years ago. Its name means polar bear lizard. It comes from the Inuit word northern Alaska, known for its rich deposits of late Cretaceous vertebrates. The partial skull and jawbone indicate that Nanoxaurus was a relatively small member of the tyrannosaurid family, with an estimated length of about 20 to 23 feet, or about 6 to 7 meters, significantly smaller than its more famous relative, the Tyrannosaurus rex. Nanoxaurus was well adapted to a high-latitude Arctic environment. Now, during the late Cretaceous, the region was much warmer than it is today, but it still experienced long periods of darkness and seasonal temperature changes. The smaller size of Nanoxaurus compared to its relatives was an adaptation to the limited resources and harsher conditions of the Arctic, requiring less food to sustain itself. It likely shared its environment with various other dinosaur species, including hadrosaurs, ceratopsians, and smaller theropods. The presence of these species suggests a relatively rich and varied ecosystem. The discovery of Nanoxaurus has important implications for understanding dinosaur distribution and adaptation. It challenges our traditional view that dinosaurs' remote outposts are now being fully understood. The Schatzgräber weather station, for example, was established by Nazi Germany and was part of a secret meteorological outpost set up to provide critical weather data for military operations. Schatzgräber, meaning treasure hunter, was located on Alexander Land, an island in the Franz Josef Land archipelago in the Arctic Ocean. This station, unlike others in the region, was critical for strategic planning, especially for naval and aerial operations in the North Atlantic. The establishment of the Schatzgräber weather station was driven by the German military's need for precise meteorological data. With the war taking place on many fronts, accurate weather forecasts were essential for planning military ops, as weather conditions could significantly impact troop movements, air raids, and naval engagements. Schatzgräber was constructed in 1943 during the height of the war. The station was designed to operate in extreme Arctic conditions, including severe cold, ice, and snow. The German military personnel stationed there had to endure long periods of isolation and harsh weather, and they had to send a distress signal requesting immediate evacuation. A rescue mission was launched by the German Navy, which successfully evacuated the crew. After the evac, the weather station was abandoned and remained largely forgotten. The remnants of the station, including the weather instruments and other equipment, provide a glimpse into the harsh realities faced by the personnel who served there. Number 3. SS Terra Nova. The SS Terra Nova was a sturdy wooden whaling and sealing ship built in 1884 in Dundee, Scotland, and it played several roles in early 20th century polar exploration, particularly as a part of Captain Robert Falcon Scott's Terra Nova expedition to Antarctica from 1910 to 1913. Originally built for the Dundee whaling and sealing fleet, the SS Terra Nova was designed to endure the harshest conditions of the polar regions. Its reinforced hull, capable of breaking through ice, made it one of the toughest vessels of its time for navigating icy waters. Now, the most famous chapter in the ship's history began when it was acquired by the British Admiralty in 1909. Extensive scientific research in geology, biology, meteorology, and glaciology, greatly contributing to our understanding of the Antarctic environment. The quest to reach the South Pole didn't go as planned. Scott, along with his companions Edward Wilson, Henry Bowers, Lawrence Oates, and Edgar Evans, reached the pole on January 17, 1912, only to discover that the Norwegian explorer Roald Amundsen had beat them by 34 days. Later, Terra Nova returned to Antarctica to retrieve the expedition members and the valuable data they had collected. Even though they didn't succeed as they had hoped, the ship became known as a great vessel, capable of venturing into the most inhospitable of places. In 1943, however, the ship's travels ended when it struck ice and sank off the coast of Greenland while on a voyage to deliver supplies during World War II. For decades it was lost, but the wreck was finally rediscovered in 2012, resting on the seabed. It is somewhat fitting that a ship so associated with Antarctic exploration would end its time in frozen waters on the other side. Discovered a virus called Pithovirus sibiricum, unlike anything seen today. There are a few reasons why it's so different. First, it's one of the largest viruses ever discovered, measuring approximately 1.5 micrometers in length and about 0.5 micrometers in diameter. Amazingly, it is visible under a microscope. This size places it in the category of giant viruses, which includes other members like mimivirus and pandoravirus. These giant viruses blur the traditional boundaries between viruses and cellular life forms due to their size and complexity. The discovery of the Pithovirus sibiricum was made by a team of French researchers from the University of Marseille, and they found it in a 30,000-year-old sample of Siberian permafrost, taken from a depth of about 98 feet or about 38 meters. Remarkably, the researchers were able to revive the virus by exposing it to amoeba, which served as hosts for the viruses to infect and replicate, demonstrating that it was still infectious after tens of thousands of such viruses raises concerns about the reemergence of ancient diseases and their impact on modern ecosystems and human health. While this virus itself is not known to pose a threat to humans, it raises questions about what else might be hidden beneath the ice. Number 1. Narwhal. Ancient mariners told tales of strange creatures they encountered at sea. While many of these stories were dismissed, one fantastical creature turned out to be real, the narwhal. Known as the unicorn of the sea because of its distinctive long spiraled tusk, the narwhal lives in the freezing waters of the Arctic, and it's a unique creature. Narwhals are medium-sized cetaceans, closely related to beluga whales. They're usually found in the waters around Greenland, Canada, and Russia. Now, adult males can reach lengths of about 13 to 16 feet, or about 4 to 5 meters, not including the tusk, and weigh between 1,700 and 3,500 pounds, or about 800 to 1,600 kilos. Females are generally smaller and don't have the long tusk environment, such as variations in water temperature, salinity, and even pressure. However, the tusk is not used for hunting prey. Narwhals have a highly specialized diet, feeding mainly on Arctic fish such as Greenland halibut, Arctic cod, and shrimp. Narwhals are known to dive to great depths in search of food, reaching up to 4,900 feet or 1,500 meters beneath the surface, and they can hold their breath for up to 25 minutes. Narwhals live in a tight-knit social group, often forming pods of 10 to 20 individuals, though larger groups can form during migration or feeding. They are migratory animals, moving seasonally between coastal areas in the summer and deeper offshore grounds in the winter, where they can access open water and continue to hunt. The narwhal's Arctic habitat makes it particularly vulnerable to the impacts of any climate change. As sea ice melts and the Arctic environment changes, narwhals face increasing threats from habitat loss, increased human activities such as shipping and oil exploration, and changes in prey availability. These environmental changes can disrupt their